Hello, everybody. Good morning. Welcome. My name is Wesley Chan, and today I'm very honored here to be here together with all of you here watching this right now, 11 o'clock. So, as promised, right now we're coming here on Facebook Live. And what's going to happen here today, especially for today, tomorrow, until Friday, we will be kickstarting our sales and marketing breakthrough week. So I'd like to invite all of you here to join on Facebook Live right now. As today's topic, we're going to talk about reality versus delusion. So where we're going to spend a little bit interesting time here today. So unlike what we have done previously, so it's just purely an interview session, but what we have here right now, because we thought of coming here and we want to follow up in terms of very practical, actionable strategies, especially in the areas and the space of sales and marketing. So what's going to happen in this is, interestingly, again, let me just come through this entire introduction again. So we will be having a session by me. Yes, by me, Wesley Chan. And also we will be having later a guest speaker here, an industry expert as pertaining to the topic here about business validation. Where again, the main intention of this episode here today, we're going to talk about business validation, on how we can validate our business idea, on how we can validate our product, so that it is still relevant to the industry right now. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to invite all of you here to help me to also like and share this video so that we can benefit many more people out there. So what I'm going to do right now is, again, one more time for those of you here, drop me a hi so I know that you're watching this right now. So I know that you're watching me from any part of the world right now. You are, just drop me a hi so that I know you're following this video right now, right? Good. All right. So, and again, the topic here today is going to talk about business validation, reality versus delusion, which means how can we really validate our idea, our business, and our product so that we know that it is still relevant to industry, still relevant to the market right now, and most importantly, especially during times of crisis like this, how do we know people still want to purchase our product or not? So, therefore, that's the reason why here today we will be doing this live here, where we're going to talk about very practical, actionable strategy in order for us to create a breakthrough in our sales and marketing right now. All right. So what's going to happen is I'm going to walk you through a little bit about format, and with that, then you will know how it works. Okay. So with that, I'm going to direct to the screen over right here. Yes, hi, we got Jana right here. So let me just do a little bit screen share, and I'll walk you through the format, and I'll tell you what to expect later on. So everybody, I'm going to move on to my screen share right now. And so here we go. All right. So again, the format of the Sales and Marketing Breakthrough Week is that we're going to have a 15 minutes with me as a host. Very glad to be with all of you here today. 15 minutes on pure content. No motivation anymore. Pure content to help you to create breakthrough in your sales and marketing. And then we will have a follow-through session, 40-minute strategy session, where we have invited a special guest speaker here today. So today we are very honored to have Mr. Noor Azmi Said, the CEO of SME Corporation of Malaysia. So he will be coming to share his insights, especially in the space of business validation here today. And of course, we will open to the floor of 5 to 10 minutes Q&A. For those of you who have just joined, again, here you can ask questions too. So again, for those of you who have just joined, just say hi so that I know that you're watching this over your home right now. All right. So here we go. Okay, let me just do a little bit of checks right here, just for a moment. Aha. Okay, good. That's good. All right. So here we go. Now, so today's topic again is on business validation, the importance of how we need to reach out to our target audience in order to know how they think about our product, in order to know what are some problems they have, what are some outcomes they have. All right. So, and again, let me just quickly introduce myself. My name is Wesley Chan. Been doing training for the past 9 years. Have trained across 20 cities, trained more than 120,000 people, specializing in the areas of sales and persuasion. However, many years ago, I never started as an entrepreneur. I started as a chemical engineer. So this was a picture of me many years ago when I was thin. Yes, hashtag thin. All right. And what happened after that was I decided to venture into business. So I went into business. I went to become a trainer and a speaker. So what happened after that was I still remember my coach once tell me, Wesley, you change what you cannot accept and you accept what you cannot change. Now means what? At the end of the day, I like this idea taught by my coach, because at the end of the day, we can't always have the mindset thinking that our product is the best in the market. Yes, I know you got very good product, but do we think that this is relevant and important to our target audience? Which means we need to go and test the product, need to ask feedback, need to gather feedback, thoughts, what are some challenges faced by our target audience in order for us to know whether our product, services, or our business right now, is it what the market is looking for or not? So therefore, that is the first time when I first started business and I got to know this thing called the business validation, which is exactly what we're going to talk today. Now, why it is so important for us to have a business validation is so that at the end of the day, right, our product and service can be the MVP. So what I mean by MVP, MVP stands for make changes, so that we can make changes on our product and solution instead of thinking what we think they would need, but we need to think, right, what exactly on the ground, what do they think on our product? So that's what I call make changes. So when you make changes, it is very good for us to validate and to check with our target audience. Check with target audience, check with our customers, existing customers, with our prospects, and to ask them what do they think of this product, what do they think of this service, the interface, the click process, the delay time, the webinar that you have, the trainings that you offer, the product that you sell. What do they think of it? Is it the right theme or not? So I think it's a good idea so that we can validate with people, so that we need to prevent, at the end of the day, we need to prevent ourselves so that we don't think that we are always having the best product, but I would like to think whether our product is a right fit for the market or not. So when you get all this validation, when you take back all this input, only then you're able to pivot your business, especially during times of crisis like this. And it's because times like this probably need to innovate and change the way we have our sales, the product that we have, and probably the services that we have, so that we can pivot and we can make changes accordingly. And again, is to avoid thinking that we have the best product, but we need to have the product that fits our target audience. So therefore, for my next short presentation with you, before I invite the guest speaker here later, and again, for those of you here, drop me a hi so that I know that you're watching this video right now. So what I'm going to do right now is this. I will share with you very practical, actionable strategy so that you and I and all of us here, we can use this for validation to our target audience. So again, for those of you here, perhaps I want you to communicate with me. So how many of you here, you're in the space of salespeople or you are a business owner? If yes, I want you to comment yes at the comment section right now. So that we know that what are some ideas that we have, and after this, probably I can address some of your questions to our industry speaker later. Mr. Azmi Said, CEO of SME Corporation Malaysia. So let's go into the strategy right now. So these are some strategies I want to recommend to you. Now, the first thing that I hope that all of us can do is number one is this. So number one is to identify our target audience. So we need to sit down and to identify, okay, so right now we talk about this product and these services, and to ask ourselves who would be the right and the perfect target audience. Now we're going to describe in terms of age, gender, in terms of a certain demographic, if you have social background of these people, who is exactly our target audience. So describe 5 characteristics of a target audience, and we need to identify the right person that we're going to talk to. Number 2, step 2 is to approach. Now, schedule an appointment, call them, email, or you can do something like email marketing to them. Schedule an appointment, or if you're just going to do a survey form with them, you need to approach them. Again, we're going to talk about the right target audience. Step number 3 is the main gist we're going to talk about. Where step number 3 is you perform your validation. So what is a validation? A validation in layman terms is you want to check and put your product to them, your services to them, and then you get them to talk about themselves. And again, it's not about you talking about yourself, but you want your clients, your customers to voice out their opinion, their challenges, their outcome, and again, what do they think about your product? So here is how it goes. Now, for me personally, I've been practicing business validation. One of the things that when I came up with a new product, something totally entire new, I want to go and test with my clients, and I ask them, hey, what kind of problems that you're facing right now? What are you currently doing? What outcome do you want to achieve? So I have got this one product, so these are the features. Now I want you to tell me, what do you think about this? So I want to also get in touch with my customers to also let them tell me what will be their experience. So again, the PCOFE, problem, current, outcome, feature, and experience is what I will normally get a feedback from. And again, how do you reach out to them is, so I got this one thing called the validation call, where I will reach out to my best 3, 5, 10 of my customers, and I'm going to call them and say, hey, you know what? recently I came out with this new virtual program. I'm not too sure whether it suits you or not, and that's the reason why I'm calling you right now to validate so that you can give me your thoughts and inputs. I'm not here to sell. My idea is I want to hear your feedback about my product. And then I will ask things like, hey, I just want to know, right? So what are some problems that you're facing right now in the space of learning? Let's say, for example, if in the space of learning, what are some problems that you're having right now in the space of, again, marketing? What are some of your problems that you're facing in terms of property real estate? So get to know what the problem of your target audience is. And then I also want to check, what are you currently doing about this? What outcome do you want to achieve during this time? So if my product right now, I got these features, so can you tell me whether this thing will suit for you or not? So I got this price point, whether is beneficial for you. So I'm going to share with you, let's say this trial version, and I want to go through this test with you. So do you like this interface? Do you have this here and there? So I think it's very good for us to validate our idea. So in this case, it is not just our own selves, where it's to prevent our own selves from being our ledger of our own mind. So that we really want to hear and to listen the feedback, the thoughts from our target audience. So it's so important for us to do so. And again, we want to avoid us being the legend of our own minds, thinking that we always have the best product. But I would like to think that is this the right product, the right fit for our target audience? Very important for those of you here right now, I strongly urge you to look back on your 3, 5, 10 customers that you have, perform validation call, and check with them. And let me tell you why this is so important ever than before. Because during times of crisis, we need to pivot our business, we need to pivot our product and solution, so that we need to know that we are still very relevant to our target audience right now during crisis. Like what we have shared, we need to be with our clients right now. We need to be with our customers right now so that they will be with you after the tough time. So it's very important for you to contact them and to know what's their feedback. Step number 4, once you gather the input, come back with your team again, go back to the drawing board and you say, hey, based on people's problem, current outcome, feature, and experience. So therefore, how can we further enhance the experience? Is it here, this interface right here, is it too long? So this product, people say that it's too long, too short. So you come back into a drawing board again, and then you gather input and again, sit down, check with your team and say, how can we further improve this experience for our target audience? So it's very crucial for us to do so. So again, step 1, 2, 3, 4. So once you check again, once you have the input, recycle the process one more time so that you want to know, is this what the market is looking for at this point of time? So this is something very helpful. Personally, I've tested before. Personally, I know of people who do business validation, and it's very helpful, especially times of crisis like this, so that we know that our product is still very relevant in the industry right now. So again, I'm very honored here today. So after this, what we're going to talk about for the next 40 minutes, we will be having our guest speaker here today, Mr. Noor Azmi, the CEO of SME Corporation of Malaysia. He will be sharing with you some very practical strategies in regards of business validation. So together with me and my friend, so me as Wesley Chan and my friend Lawrence Low, two of us will be hosting Mr. Noor Azmi Said, so that he will be sharing with you some very practical steps and strategies. So let me just run through this with you on how this format will go. And again, so just now for the couple of 10 minutes, I've shared with you all the strategies that I have. So later, very shortly, just very shortly, we're going to invite him on air to talk about, again, industry speaker, what practical steps, importance of validation, how can we do so, what industry should we do so, what sectors should we do so. He will be sharing with you in terms of his own idea. And then after this, for the next 5 to 10 minutes, all of you here, I would welcome you to ask as many questions as you can. Because in today's session, moving forward, we want to go down to the strategies, down into the practical steps, no longer about the mindset, but what are some things that we can do in order for us to increase our brand, increase our online presence, so that we can create our breakthrough in sales and marketing. So with that, without further ado, let me just do some administrative work right here. Just give me a bit. Right now, I'm going to stop my screen share. So right now, I'll be inviting Mr. Azmi Said. Again, for those of you here, just say hi. So we got Ainon, hi, Sabri, Alex, Lukpuyan, hello, Tasmini, hello. So right now, without further ado, let me just invite my host here first. So right now, we got Lawrence. Lawrence, say hi to our friends.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. All right, Lawrence. And again, so right now, let me just bring on our guest speaker here today. I'm very excited to have Mr. Azmi Said. Thank you so much for being on the show.
All right. Okay.
Hi, Mr. Azmi. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Great.
All right. So first of all, thank you so much for joining on the show here today. For those of you here who have just joined in, perhaps can we say hi to Mr. Asmi? Can we say hi to Mr. Noor Azmi Said, so the CEO of SME Corporation? Okay, so let's get into the topic here today, right? So again, thank you so much for joining this here, Mr. Asmi Said. Okay, so we talk about the importance of business validation. And the first question that we want to ask you is this. So from your view, Asmi, how important is validation when it comes to pivoting our current business?
Okay. Validation is a key. To me, it's a key thing before you start something, or something that you need to relook or redo quite often to your business to ensure that you're still relevant in the ecosystem. Because over the years or over time, there'll be new input, competitors coming in, and new business model coming in. So you have to relook back at your business, especially in this current MCO scenario and also COVID-19 scenario. A lot of new things, new habit change happen. So business must somehow adapt to this new scenario and change things accordingly.
Right.
Based on my experience, for example, if when you in retail, you when you restart back, if you don't things doesn't happen like before COVID or before NCO. Definitely, you have to do something about it. And then this is where the process of revalidation of your business must be done. Um, for example, if you notice that if you're running F&B and you notice that your clients they used to eat in, now they no longer eat in. They just pack the food and take away. The main major change you would notice that your drink business will be disrupted. Uh, if they eat in, they will order drinks like smoothies or high value or high margin drinks. But then when they take away, eat out, they would no longer buy that. And most likely they would buy just either syrup or air kosong. So definitely you know that the margin in food business is very tight. And the outlets normally depends on business that from drink part of the business.
Yes.
So this is where you need to relook back. What needs to be done? Do you need to shrink your business? How you can increase your margin on the food? Do you need to streamline your supply system to get a better raw material pricing, all those things? So you need to revalidate not just on the consumer side, but also on your supply side and your market channel side. You need to relook and validate. And often when looking at validation, I always look at 4 different aspects. First, I would start with looking at the market side, whether the market still exists or not. For example, in the retail business, you must have data earlier. The numbers of crowd coming into the shopping malls or the business where you do business. So with that numbers of crowd, you must know how many of them will come and eat. Normally 2% of the crowd that coming in will do that. Then go into the next stage where you need to validate whether the current number of staff or the number of crowd that coming into the mall or into the place where you do business sufficient to sustain your business or not. If not, then definitely you may look at shrinking your business size, or you may look at shrinking your serving size, because it also depends on amount how much the consumer willing to spend post COVID. or post MCO. That is another aspect. They might used to spend 10 ringgit a day. Post COVID, with the being a new habit that they would do takeaway or use riders to buy things, that budget 10 ringgit a day might shrink to 7 ringgit or 5 ringgit a day. So you need to adjust your serving size, you need to adjust your offering to the budget that the consumer or your clients willing to spend. So overall, yeah, I mean, it's one, you have to look at the market. Two, you have to look at the technology delivery, or what technology that you need to introduce or you need to look at based on the limitation that you have. What you need to apply to make that offering. You have to match. The key thing is to match the affordability and the pricing and the packaging of your product to the new scenario by the consumer. For example, in now I noticed that if you have a delivery or platforms online selling products and you deliver your product to the new consumer, you can win consumer just by delivering according to schedules or delivering efficient delivery. You can get your new customer easily. I noticed a few new platforms. They just been introduced 2 weeks ago, but they've been, I mean, because of their effectiveness, their efficiency, people start using it, and word of mouth keeps spreading, and these new platforms coming up very fast. So,
Sorry, we're losing you. Mr. Azmi, yeah, we're losing you. Lawrence, can you hear it?
No, I can't.
So apologies for some of you here, some technical difficulties. That's why we need to also pivot our show. All right. So Mr. Azmi, we can't hear you. Mr. Azmi? Lawrence, can you? You can't hear him, right? Okay, that's interesting. So just to give you a recap, so Mr. Azmi was talking about, so we can't hear you, Mr. Azmi. So just we were talking about validation. He spoke about the importance of validating not just with the customers, but it's also in terms of with our internal side as well. So when he talked about just now, validate in terms of the market. So we can't hear you, Mr. Azmi. Okay, for those of you out there, yep, that's interesting, right? Okay, so let's do a little bit check with Mr. Azmi. Okay. All right, so just to do a recap of what Mr. Azmi has shared just now, I was writing points here. And again, what are some things that we can validate? I think instead of just with the customer, but with our own self, whether number one, the market, the pricing point. Yes, Mr. Azmi, can you hear us?
Yes, can.
This is much clearer now.
Okay.
We need
All
to
right.
move.
You can hear me better?
Yes, now we need to see your face. Okay, good.
All right, okay.
Yeah, just now you stop at the technology part. Yep.
Okay. Technology. You can hear me better now? Right?
Yes, a lot better now. Yeah.
Okay. On the technology part, you have to look at because you have limitations. You know, after doing a market survey or market studies, the new the way of people's consumer spending, you'll be able to outline your limitations.
Yes.
For example, their spending power, their preference, their habits. With that preference, and that limitation, you must look at ways to using technology, how to make your product competitive. Because at the end of the day, you must give offerings that the consumer want.
Yes.
So you know what the consumer want. So then you need to tailor your offerings to what the consumer want, and you need to use technology to deliver that. So that's where the technology element is important. For example, I like to new platforms now. Currently, we know that more and more platforms gaining attractions, and I noticed as well now platforms that deliver fast, efficient, on time, gaining preference. So you can see that within the last 2 weeks, there are platforms that coming up and being prominent in just a short time because of delivery that they able to deliver in efficient manner. So this is where you have to look at using technology to deliver. Then we talk about understanding the market, understanding the technology that you need to deliver, and then we need to look at the operation, how to increase your operation efficiency. Any technology you could use in your operation efficiency. You may look at what you need to do upstream, what you need to do downstream. Upstream even in supply, and downstream even in your client side. How is your clients? How it is for your clients to deliver or to use the product? This also involves design of packagings, there are so many ways doing it. And the last one is to look at the financial feasibility. It is no point that you keep striving or surviving in a space or area that you know that you're not going to make money. I think everybody knew that in retail, if you're not making break even in that particular space within 3 months, forget about that space. Either you change the business, you change what you're going to do, or you move to other space you want to maintain with the same business. So this also need to be done post-COVID or post-MCO, because you need to revalidate whether your business still relevant or not, and then whether that's viable or not. So this is where the few things. Then you need to look at the whole thing integrated. How you can use technology to help your operation and also your market competency, and also how technology could be able to help your cash flow to make your business survive. And the best words for now is to look people or friends or business to collaborate. It's not for you to do everything alone. So you have to do collaborative modes. So especially in this post-COVID, I foresee more and more, especially small business, hawkers also, they need to collaborate among themselves. Bring up the efficiency in terms of material supply. Because in before COVID or before MCO, we used to have JIT, just in time delivery of raw materials that may come from multiple places without any restriction. But now we have restriction, and post MCO, movement of goods will be more preference toward the same area. And one of the biggest trend that we'll be looking at, or we could expect, is decentralization of supply. So again, small business in the same sectors, they need to look at how they could collaborate together to ensure the supply to their side. Maybe 10 people supplying to that particular area. Post-COVID, they need to combine their strength together and then maybe only work with one supplier to ease of to make it easy for the movement of goods. Otherwise, it will be difficult to move 10 different suppliers into one area. So definitely it will be a problem.
All right, good. Yeah, thank you very much for that. And I could feel the way you answered. You got so much substance and all. You got like 1, 2, 3, 4. So my next follow-up question, because you talk about very good points on how we need to validate our market, technology, operation efficiency, and financial feasibility. There's a follow-up question that I want to know basically on understanding the market part. So if let's say if you're going to validate a market with your customer in the market, right? What will be some questions, or what are some things that you would consider in order for you to validate the market?
Okay, to validate the market, one is we're looking at habit change. Because we look at brands like Starbucks, brands like even McDonald's. It all started by observing habit change. For Starbucks, for example, you notice that since it started until few years ago, there is no Starbucks operation in Italy, because the idea of habits, what Starbucks offer is common habit to the people in Italy. So they bring up the habits in Italy into the United States, and then it spread throughout the world because of the habit of people want to enjoy coffee and then do business, discuss about business. So that's how Starbucks grow. And then even for McDonald's, for example, it's a habit that they notice because earlier they operate in a different, open for all, but then they notice a certain habits of people when buying burgers. So, and that's how McDonald's started by observing the habits and then focusing on that habit, youngsters buying burgers. So, the same post-COVID, we have to look at that habit change. What new habits that the consumer start to embrace? For example, buying online and relying on the delivery, any delivery service provider. So relying on delivery service provider, this is a new habit. So we know that post MCO, people have that trust in delivery provider. So this is where it's a must consideration in terms of sales channels. New habit that coming up, and then ordering through platform is no longer something that people are afraid of. It is something that people have confidence already there. So this is another habits that habit change that retailers or business people must consider, must embrace. And then we know that another habit is people start to do social distancing.
Yep.
And sanitizing everywhere. So your business must have this social distancing and sanitizing precaution measures or steps, procedures inside the outlet so that you will still be relevant. And then we need to look at, that is on the habit side. Then we need to look at the, another part is the target customer spending power. So post-COVID, definitely some of them they have habit change and also they have different allocation of the funding.
Yep.
So we will be able to notice this when they start to make order post MCO, the order trend, what they add, what they will not add. So this indicates their spending power. And like I think in 2016 or 2017, we faced as a F&B business faced where increasing of cost of raw materials while the price still stagnant. You cannot increase the price. If you increase the price, people will go away. So you have to maintain the price. But how to reduce, to be able to cope up with the increasing cost of products, cost of raw materials, while maintaining the same price. So we can see that some of the outlets, they change from maybe 5 or 6 people running the counter to you order yourself, only 1 people running the counter. So reduce the cost of manpower. So these are the things that they have to look at when understanding the trend. So looking at habit, looking at the spending power, and then we also need to look at the whether that area that you working, your outlets, significant change in the crowd that going into the place. So then you will know how to draw crowd to your place. But if people not coming to the outlets, to the mall or the area, you have to look at maybe doing a loyalty programs. Maybe you need to look at free vouchers to claim. Or there are various ways of to attract back the client. So all these things need to be on the market side. Apart from the habit, all those things, and you need also to understand what is the minimum number of clients or purchases that you need to do average daily, so that your business will be self-sustained at least. So if you cannot achieve that, and when you calculate with the amount of crowd, and also you cannot achieve that, and you didn't foresee any changes in people coming into the mall, and then with the number that you need to achieve your break even, is a time for you to reconsider, to relook what you need to do. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, Lawrence.
I think that's a very interesting answer. So to benefit some of our audience that is also listening in Bahasa, so I'm going to ask the next question in Bahasa. Yeah. So
Okay.
ask me, apakah cara-cara yang baik untuk membuat business idea validation? Kerana kadang-kadang when kita nak mulakan business, kita pergi we will ask, kita akan tanya keluarga kita akan tanya kawan baik kita. Tetapi kita tidak tanya kepada orang di luar. So apakah cara-cara untuk membuat business validation yang betul dan untuk mendapat jawapan yang tepat untuk kita nak mulakan atau tidak mulakan bisnes?
Okay. Untuk business validation ataupun idea validation, yang pertama sekali di penghujungnya apa yang kita nak cari adalah whether atau sama ada business itu feasible atau tak feasible, boleh untung atau tak boleh untung. Because business is about making money ataupun buat untung. Kalau tak buat untung, that's not doing business lah kan. So jadi bila nak verify ataupun untuk kita pastikan idea tu boleh untung atau tak boleh untung, seperti yang sebutkan tadi, kita kena melihat satu, pasaran tu ada tak ada. Kedua, teknologi yang kita nak gunakan dalam idea tu ada tak ada. Sebab dia yang pertama sekali, bila kita kaji pasaran, yang pertama sekali yang kita nak dapat adalah apakah limitation atau apakah perkara-perkara yang menjadi halangan atau cabaran untuk diselesaikan. Sebagai contoh, saya pernah buat, saya call it a burger challenge. So burger challenge ni, saya selalu bagi challenge dalam satu kawasan. Katalah dulu saya pernah buat di UiTM, competition lah. So, dalam satu kawasan UiTM Shah Alam, the challenge is by selling burger, create a plan, buat satu rancangan dalam tempoh 1 tahun, you boleh dapat income 1 juta. So this is a challenge. So jadi when they started with that challenge, dia akan looking at dia punya that parameters, apa yang dia boleh buat, apa yang tak boleh buat, apa dia punya isu, apa dia punya masalah. So jadi jadi bila kita nak buat idea validation, this is what we need to start with. Mula-mula nak cari apa limitation, apa halangan, apa cabaran yang kita kena selesaikan. So jadi dari situ bila kita buat market study, kita nak cari cabaran-cabaran tu. Cabaran yang pertama tadi yang sebutkan daripada habit tu, pertukaran habit orang membeli. Kedua cabaran is berapa banyak orang sanggup belanja untuk beli produk kita. Kalau macam produk kita harga RM10, selepas COVID ataupun MCO, PKP, adakah orang sanggup belanja RM10 juga? Ataupun orang dah kurang, bajet dia RM7. So ini yang kita kena tanya, kena tengok dia punya spending power, spending capability. Kemudian kita nak kena tengok untuk contoh, kalau kita nak delivery the products dengan harga yang limitation yang ada, sama ada produk yang kita nak deliver dengan harga yang expected tu cukup atau kita boleh buat untung atau tidak. Jadi kita kena tengok supplier, kena cari kalau kita kilang sendiri bagaimana kos yang kita boleh jimatkan atau kos yang kita boleh buat supaya kita boleh menjual pada harga ataupun apa yang customer expect, customer nak. Kita jangan jual pada customer nak belanja RM10 tapi kita nak jual RM20. Memang tak jadi lah. So you have to look at macam mana approach ataupun macam mana kita cakap. Kalau dia nak RM10, kita boleh deliver produk tu dengan harga RM10 juga. Kalau tidak RM10 pun mungkin kita belanja RM10 tapi kita ada offer yang ni 20% discount, that kind of mechanism lah. So jadi nak validate idea tu dia banyak integrasi dia. Jadi pertama nak tengok market, kedua nak tengok teknologi apa yang to meet that, dan kemudian nak tengok dia punya cash flow tu boleh untung tak boleh untung. Dan selalunya dalam perkara macam ni kita selalu sarankan kalau buat retail, macam saya sebut awal tadi, kalau buat retail 3 bulan tak boleh untung, dah start kena fikir ataupun break even. Break even ni dia cost nak tampung bayar sewa, bayar apa semua. Kalau 3 bulan tu pun tak boleh nak bayar sewa, kena top up, dan start fikirlah sama ada nak tukar bisnes yang lain ke ataupun nak pindah tempat. So, kadang-kadang sebab tempat, kadang-kadang ada sebab kalau dekat kawasan tu ada 10 F&B juga, and then orang dah kurangkan belanja untuk F&B, definitely kita kena tukar bisnes lain. Mungkin kita boleh tukar kepada hypermarket lah, macam mart kan, atau convenience store, ataupun paling tidak pun jual barang yang orang lain tak jual, farmasi ke. So jadi itu kalau tukar the way of do things. Tapi kalau still nak buat F&B business juga, mungkin kita kena cari tempat lain untuk F&B business yang boleh bergerak. So itu antara validation of ideas lah. Panjang cara dia, tapi yang penting hujungnya boleh buat duit tak boleh buat duit, dan tempoh 3 bulan kita boleh dapat self sustain. Maksudnya modal cost overhead setiap bulan tu kita boleh bayar. Kalau 3 bulan tu kita tak boleh nak bayar juga, itu kita kena fikir dulu. Dan maksimum 6 bulan kalaupun tak boleh bayar juga, memang dia kena tukar.
Ini memang satu contoh yang sangat direct, very straightforward, tak perlu fikir sebenarnya boleh ke tak boleh ke. Kalau tak boleh sustain, memang tak boleh sustain. So Tuan Azmi, sebelum kita teruskan soalan yang seterusnya oleh Wesley, saya nak tanyakan, mungkin kebanyakan rakan-rakan kita yang tak berapa faham fungsi SME Corp, and then mungkin boleh Tuan juga explain apakah fungsi SME Corp, dan adakah SME Corp juga memberi khidmat nasihat kepada peniaga-peniaga PKS dalam business validation ataupun market validation.
Okay, SME Corp saya rasa kita adalah central koordinasi, maknanya agensi koordinasi pusat kepada SMEs. So jadi kita boleh kata home of SMEs ataupun home of SMEs in the country lah. So, jadi kita looking at issues dengan SMEs, macam contohnya dalam tempoh MCO ni pun, walaupun dia orang duduk di rumah, tapi SME Corp kami bekerja juga untuk mendapatkan maklumat-maklumat apa yang SME hadapi, dan kami kumpulkan maklumat-maklumat isu-isu yang berkaitan dan bawa kepada jawatankuasa ataupun majlis-majlis yang tertentu di dalam organisasi kerajaan. Dan itu sebagai contohnya macam package prihatin tambahan, itulah antara effort-effort yang dilakukan oleh SME Corp dan juga persatuan-persatuan PKS yang kita bawa kepada kerajaan, dan ianya maka terhasillah macam package rancangan tambahan PKS. So selain itu kami juga berterusan memantau macam sekarang ini dari sudut implementasi, bagaimana package rancangan tu, cara nak implement, dan kami dapatkan feedback apa isu-isu yang dihadapi oleh SMEs, dan kita bawakan kalau ada isu-isu berkaitan, kebanyakannya isu berkaitan birokratik lah. So jadi kami bawakan kepada agensi-agensi tertentu, agensi-agensi sana, dan kami cuba selesaikan dengan secepat mungkin. Dan memang hasrat dia kita nak bawa package rancangan tu dengan cepat ataupun dengan efisien kepada PKS. Kemudian maknanya dan sekarang kami melihat moving forward, apa yang kami perlu lakukan lagi untuk selepas PKP membangunkan ataupun memulihkan keadaan PKS kita, dan juga mungkin satu pembaharuan baru kepada PKS kita, kerana kita tidak boleh pergi kembali kepada cara lama ataupun cara kita sebelum ini. So, jadi masa bergerak, dan kita perlu bawa SME kita selepas PKS ni ke satu situasi yang akan datang. Sebagai contohnya, mungkin kita akan promote deployment cashless payment dengan lebih meluas lagi. Mungkin looking at POS system yang lebih meluas lagi, ERP system kepada small medium size enterprise, PKS sederhana, dan maknanya agenda untuk mendigitalkan perniagaan tu mungkin akan dipertingkatkan lagi. So, jadi itu antara yang kita tengah lihat dan kita tengah bring forward kepada jawatankuasa ataupun majlis-majlis tertentu untuk dilihatkan lah. So jadi that's the role ataupun peranan SME Corp dari sudut polisi ataupun dari sudut program-program untuk membangunkan semula PKS dan juga program yang kita ada macam-macam program. Kalau ini boleh dapat juga di dalam portal SME Corp. Umpamanya yang tengah bergerak sekarang adalah program BizUp, SME BizUp. Yang ini untuk bantuan spesifik kepada SME yang bergiat dalam area green technology ataupun even look at specific area yang kita melihat juga gaharu umpamanya. Sebab kita dapati gaharu adalah satu industri yang unik kepada Malaysia dan kita punya potensi. Dan kita ingin memperkembangkan gaharu kepada industri industri wangian, perfume industries, new industries yang kita boleh champion sebenarnya. Kemudian kita juga melihat mungkin industri burung walit. Burung walit ni kita unik juga sebab kita je yang banyak buat burung walit. So jadi ini another area yang kita mungkin akan push juga. Selain daripada integrasi untuk looking at sebab SMEs, majority of SMEs adalah dalam services sector, retail dan juga F&B. So kita looking at memperkasakan retail and F&B punya areas. So ini mungkin dana BizUp tu akan cover sedikit. Kita juga looking at kerjasama. Kalau lihat sekarang kita ada kerjasama dengan Huawei AI, di mana kita Huawei telah menawarkan cloud percuma untuk tempoh 1 tahun yang mana SME boleh ambil sebab dia kalau gunakan cloud Huawei ni gunakan aplikasi yang ada, improve the business. Sebenarnya after 1 year SME atau PKS dah boleh subscribe to the cloud sendiri sebab modal tu dah ada. So 1 year tu is enough to untuk create modal untuk subscribe seterusnya di cloud Huawei. Kita juga ada looking at program kolaborasi dengan beberapa lain. For example, kita dah ada kolaborasi dengan LinkedIn untuk e-learning dan juga kita ada kolaborasi dengan Persipio untuk e-learning. Yang itu kita menerima sambutan baik. Jadi dalam tempoh MCO ni dapat belajar bagaimana melalui online dan juga seterusnya selepas MCO mereka yang nak meneruskan belajar online ni, subscribe online, HRDF memang ada dana khusus untuk subscribe belajar online. So jadi mungkin boleh tengok dekat HRDF. So jadi itu kita cuba linkkan. Kita bagi pendedahan dulu, selepas tu boleh tengok dekat HRDF. Gunakan dana HRDF untuk e-learning. Dan juga dari semasa-semasa kita akan tambah juga kolaborasi dengan pihak ketiga untuk membangunkan PKS kita. So itu antara yang cuma kena lihat dekat kita punya website selalulah program-program yang kita akan lancarkan. Dan yang penting sekali saya mohon ke PKS untuk mendaftar status PKS dengan SME Corp. Kita ada status PKS. Jadi mula tahun ni kita kumpulkan pendaftaran status PKS. Jadi tujuan dia, status PKS ni kita tahu dia ni micro ke, dia ni small ke ataupun dia ni medium. So jadi akan datang kita boleh buat program yang micro punya program lain sikit. Yang small punya program lain dan medium size program lain. Jadi kita dapat bagi bantuan tu lebih tersasar. Macam sekarang lebih bersasar. Jadi macam sekarang kita bagi bantuan dia across the board. Dia micro ke, dia small ke ataupun dia medium ke, kita bagi macam satu skim yang sama. So jadi hakikat dia lain level. Macam penjaja tak sama dia nak dia dengan orang syarikat small, ataupun syarikat small tak sama hendak dia dengan syarikat yang dah medium size. So jadi kita nak dapatkan lebih fokus dekat situ dan memang kita perlukan pendaftaran SME ni berjalan. So jadi buat masa ni pendaftaran SME ni kita bagi percuma, tak ada fees. So dan kita bagi tempoh sah untuk 1 tahun. dan akan datang mungkin sertifikat SME, perakuan SME ni mungkin akan digunakan dalam procurement ataupun perolehan kerajaan. So itu mungkin akan berlaku, akan datang. Tapi untuk buat masa ini, untuk mereka yang ada status SME, memang kita galakkan untuk, terutama untuk program-program SME Corp, kita minta mereka mendaftar dengan status PKS dulu lah.
Right.
So itu antara program-program SME Corp lah. Ada banyak lagi tapi mungkin boleh dapat daripada website kita lah.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you a lot, Tuan. And yeah, just to show you, so this is the website of SME Corp right in front, right? And I think some of you, I think the SME Corp admin, thank you so much for sharing this. Where boleh daftar dan sahkan status PKS di sini. SMEREC.SMEcorp.gov.my. So yeah. So thank you very much for sharing this one, Tuan. Okay, just a follow-up question. Tadi Tuan ada katakan tentang penggunaan digitalization in terms of validation, right? So my question is, how do you encourage business owners now? Because like what you say, a lot of them are retail, F&B, and also service industry. What do you recommend for business owners now to use data and digitalization for validation? How they can use this as a start now?
Okay. The most simplest for them, mungkin they need to start with gathering ataupun collecting ataupun compiling data-data pelanggan, the current client punya data.
Yes.
If they already doing it, good. If they and they need to maintain terus berkomunikasi dengan pelanggan dia. Don't let this tempo PKP or MCO restrict dia punya communication dengan pelanggan. So this data pelanggan yang dia ada, they need, if they have it, kalau boleh they need to keep communicating, and then they need to tweet ataupun not tweet lah, I mean message your clients selalu, so that it will remain in the client head. You still exist, you still working. Otherwise, if you don't do that, dalam masa sebulan, 2 bulan, dia akan lupa. Once dia lupa, you'll be having hard time nak cash back dia punya attention ataupun dia punya memory with you. So jadi by communicating constantly ataupun berkomunikasi secara constant dengan pelanggan, it's actually adalah transforming ataupun menukarkan memory pelanggan jangka pendek kepada memory pelanggan jangka panjang. So bila dia memory dia bertukar daripada jangka pendek ke jangka panjang, dia akan forever remember you. Sweet moments yang dia tahu with you, especially kalau dia datang kat kedai, dia punya sweet moment, dia suka sambal this special punya sambal ke kan.
Betul.
So you message dia, tunjuklah gambar sambal tu kan, dia akan ingat, wah ini sambal sedap kan. So this is yang need to maintain that communication.
Right.
And in adopting e-commerce ataupun digital transformation, kita looking at different for example penjaja, at least penjaja level start going into cashless payment. So having a cashless terminals or even for medium size or even a small size, having a POS system yang boleh record your customer data pun lebih baik. Dia sekarang ni untuk dapat macam POS system sekarang ni RM3,000 ataupun RM1,500 dah boleh dapat satu terminal ataupun yang simple lah kan. So jadi you boleh record you punya consumer data dan you boleh gunakan that client yang data. And SME Corp kita looking at how we also looking at to assist SMEs yang micro ni ataupun small size untuk dapatkan this POS system ataupun cashless payment system dengan dengan bantuan kita mungkin sebab saya tahu yang ada yang bantuan daripada MDEC sebelum ni, so mungkin bantuan tu pun boleh digunakan untuk mendapatkan POS system. Untuk mereka yang dalam upper small ataupun medium size, dia punya requirement mungkin dia looking at ERP system. So kita pun ada looking at ERP system yang sesuai untuk SMEs atau PKS. Sebab ada juga ERP system yang untuk large company, so may not be sufficient, I mean not sufficient, may not be practical for SMEs. tapi kita looking at yang mana practical untuk kita punya SMEs. So jadi dalam industri 4.0 pula dia ada 9 pillars. So mungkin AI, artificial intelligence, the first before artificial intelligence boleh pakai, first you need that data. So data actually start dengan POS apa semua, you can capture data. So daripada that data, then you would be able to think about ataupun collaborate dengan parties yang boleh bagi assistance on artificial intelligence. And then kemudian then baru masuk the big data things lah. So jadi big data things ni lebih sesuai kepada apa small ataupun medium size companies. So itu kita akan looking at that area. So kemudian adalah dari segi yang lainnya banyak related to manufacturing, robotics, using IoT in manufacturing. IoT pun boleh juga guna untuk services sector. So boleh tengok menggunakan IoT bagaimana you need mungkin saya remember MDEC, few parties dalam MDEC pernah buat macam mana nak kira crowd, automatically dia kira crowd keluar masuk. So jadi you have access benda macam ni, you can look at satu hari sebenarnya berapa crowd datang, berapa crowd yang beli. So and then you can look at what need to be done based on age of crowd yang keluar masuk tu. Dia boleh estimate age umur berapa. You boleh estimate okay this age apa yang menu yang sesuai. So saya sebutkan contoh paling mudah lah dalam mana-mana pun dia akan ada orang yang very laggard, so dia akan always stick to menu yang dia biasa, dan ada orang-orang yang very adventurous, dia looking at something yang baru, something yang dia nak try. So jadi this is another segment. So jadi through using macam facial recognition or crowd yang dia boleh sistem-sistem yang boleh capture nama berapa ramai crowd, age range yang macam mana. So ini antara mungkin pembaharuan baru yang SMEs boleh tengok untuk operasi retail ataupun the shops lah. So these are the things yang people could look at lah.
Right. And I'm excited, when come one day I walk into the store, they see my face, then they know what I want to eat.
Yes.
That's exciting.
That will be possible.
And I think like what you say, I agree that you say the first step towards digitalization is to first have the customer data. I think for those of you here running businesses, I think for those of you who haven't started, I think it's very important for us to do so. And then you mentioned about the IoT, big data for like small, medium, larger companies after that. Yeah, so we really want to have a lot of you can share a lot of information, and I mean, unfortunately, we're almost reaching the end of this show here today. So, Tuan Azmi, do you have any advice right now? Any last advice? Any words of encouragement to our fellow business owners watching this show here today?
Okay, we are in a different scenario. We cannot expect what we've been through in January. Will be similar when we open up back either in May or end of the month. I mean, some of them already open their business. So the scenario has changed, and the first who able to adapt to new scenario will definitely win or will be able to going through the obstacle. So pertama sekali use your gut feelings, sama ada dia punya suara hati. Whether your business ni boleh bergerak ke tak boleh bergerak selepas MCO. Sometimes once you have a gut feeling, you need to do validate. You validate whether your gut feeling tu betul atau tak betul. You go jumpa, tengok balik, check dengan kawan-kawan your networks. I punya business ni boleh jalan ke tak boleh jalan, atau senario dah berubah, what changes. So exchange the ideas among business community ataupun sesama those in the same business should exchange ideas, and then always looking at ways ataupun lihat cara-cara di mana you be able to consolidate your business with another business alike that within the same business segment ataupun business area. Consolidate sebab post MCO adalah about survival, nak survive to sustain before the economy start to recover. So to sustain, you tak boleh nak buat sendiri-sendiri. You kena check dengan kawan-kawan. You have to have that good ni lah, macam mana sama-sama nak hidup lah. So because selepas economic recover, then you know sebab yang itu siapa yang hidup je yang akan recover, akan would have that benefit. So do collaborations, and then dan salah satunya I'm looking at kalau small penjaja could turn ataupun work towards collaboration, maybe cooperative ke apa ke, to work together, and then also looking at mungkin if the business have some funding or ability to do so, maybe merge few business and then create bigger size business so that you could sustain over a period. So that's the more or less my advice lah. The focus now is survival, to survive throughout the recovery period, so that when we do recover, and then the business is there, survive, the fund is there, so you'll be able to move forward. So don't hesitate to acknowledge the business is not that good. So adapt. Okay, the business is not that good, but we have to do something to survive. So ataupun kita terima situasi mungkin tidak bagus, dan cara ke depan adalah dengan bekerjasama dengan orang lain ataupun bisnes lain untuk sama-sama survive. That's my for the time being.
All right. Thank you very much for that. I think the key point that I've captured just now, adaptability. Siapa yang adapt tu memang akan menang. Number 2 is collaborate with business, and then validate with business community. Yeah, thank you very much for your time, Tuan Azmi. It's been a very insightful sharing. I want to talk further with you. I want to pick your brains on how we can sustain further, right? And again, so before we officially say goodbye, so I want to thank you for your time again, Tuan, for your precious time right here. Lawrence, do you want to say anything?
No, thank you so much, Tuan. Thank you so much for your time. Terima kasih spending your morning with us. Again, I hope to catch up with you soon after MCO. Again, thank you so much.
Yeah, so Tuan Azmi, we have a little culture here. We will take a picture. We show peace sign. We show peace sign to the camera. Yeah. Okay, ready? We need to see a picture. Okay, ready? Look at the camera. 1, 2, 3. All right. Thank you very much. Pleasure having you. And again, thank you so much for your time. All right. And so with that, again, thank you so much for your time, Lawrence and Azmi. So, Tuan Azmi, I'm going to remove you from the screen. I'm just going to do a quick announcement for everybody. So, thank you so much for your time one more time. So, just say goodbye to the camera. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay. Thank you. All right, so for those of you here watching this right now, so thank you so much for joining. And here's what we're going to do differently this week, because we have got very good feedback. So I want to invite all of you here to do this one thing with us. So because in case some of you here, you joined halfway, that we actually have gathered summaries of the entire show here today. So whereby we will be sharing with you this summary. And of course, I will be personally giving you my ebook as well on next 14 days, a breakthrough action plan for us to increase our sales and marketing. So therefore, for those of you here who would like this summary and a follow-up action item from us, so you can go to this link, tiny.cc/sales and marketing. We will be sending you a summary of the entire session here today so that you can benefit for yourself and for your team as well. So there you go in the comment section right there. So you need to fill some particulars like your email, and then we have some options for you if you decide to attend my next webinar, or you want to arrange a consultation session with Lawrence in terms of marketing and for me in sales, or you want both. Just put your options there in the Google form, right? In the tiny.cc. And again, one more time, everybody, thank you so much for your time, for having us right here. And again, every single day we will be, for this week, we will be having the sales and breakthrough marketing week to share with you some very important stuff, some very important sales and marketing strategies here to help you in your business, in the space of sales and marketing. All right. So tomorrow we will be having two special guests talk about how do we motivate sales team remotely. We are very honored to invite very prominent people from Juwai IQI, so very, very huge property agency across the world. So we would like to have all of you to join us tomorrow at 11 o'clock, same here this time, right? So thank you so much, everybody. And just a very quick shout out for those of you here. Please follow us on our My Parentis social media platforms on Facebook, on Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And we have just launched a new YouTube channel. So do follow us, our YouTube channel, My Parentis School of Life here, and keep up to our next upcoming videos, all right? Until then, everybody, hope that you are safe and sound, and it's time to create breakthrough in your sales and marketing. Do remember to check us out on our summary and also in this one at this tiny.cc sales and marketing. So for those of you watching right now, thank you so much for your time. Thank you, Wendy, you are here, Dr. Wendy. Well done, Noor Azmi, and it's excellent. It's cool and so much. And again, for those of you here, thank you so much for your time. And I will see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Tomorrow, how to motivate sales team remotely. Until then, everybody, thank you. Signing off from here, my apprentice, Wesley Chan. Thank you very much.